So, Mamiya RB67. Great system, great camera, great lenses, great format, great everything. I've got mine in a pretty good condition. I don't really like cameras in bad condition. We'll talk about the real problem here. And the problem is this. Really stiff rotation of the film back. I would say it is a pretty common thing in RB67 cameras, and you really feel it while using the camera. So since I haven't found any video or photo material on how to fix it, I decided to do it myself and share it with you. For disassembly, you really need only a screwdriver with a cross-type bit. I highly recommend JIS bits because they fit the best, and a pair of good tweezers. Since I had to figure out myself how to do this, here you can see me figuring it out. Here I'm looking for the screws holding the two pieces together. That's definitely not what I need. Some kind of spring, so I quickly put it back. Then I look from the other side where the back goes and decide to look behind these screws. They actually have nothing to do with the stiffness, but if you have some wobble between your film back and the adapter, check these to be screwed in tightly. As for this part of the video, you don't actually need to perform anything that I did here, because, as I said, I'm just trying to figure out what to do, and since I don't really want to rush things, I just keep them slowly, especially with repairs. And now is the moment where you should pay attention. When you twist the adapter to its in-between positions, you can see 4 locks, or kinda locks, inside. By the way, this is the rail that guides to pieces, and here are the fastenings. It is really nothing special, just 4 of them screwed to the adapter. And at this point, I'd like you to pay attention to how they are installed. I highly recommend you to record or at least take photos of what you're going to disassemble before you do that. And that's the end of the air raid alert. The more you know. Now we can continue. I'm a pretty lazy person to always set up my lights and camera to record my repairs, but since I felt this one is pretty important for me and maybe for many other people, I decided to do it in a responsible way, to actually record it. So remember those 4 fastenings? Now is the time to unscrew them. Each one is held by 2 screws. Then goes a metal locking part and the spring that pushes one side to the other. I tried to put parts aside in the order that I took them off. And now you do the same thing for 4 other fastenings. Pay attention to their position. And now we can separate them. There is not really that much left to talk about. You can see there are 2 sides with contacting surfaces with old lubricant that you need to clean off and put a new one. And after that you pretty much go backwards in the process, but I decided to leave this part because it may be useful for some of you. And I honestly prefer repair videos that are longer so I can see step-by-step process, especially with more complicated procedures. So here I cleaned the old grease off. All you need is a few Q-tips and a small amount of alcohol and some rubbing skills, I guess. As you can see, there is not that much of old grease left because I thought there will be like blobs of gooey substance, but because it is old and dry, it is really stiff to rotate. Here's a side note that you should watch out for. There are 4 tiny springs near the fastenings, so keep them in place and be careful not to lose them. If something went wrong and they fell off just put them back in the position. It should be easier if you took the photos of them beforehand. As for lubrication, unfortunately I cannot really share it with you because it is a very special formula grease and a family secret. That's Liquimoly LM47, okay. I bought it to use on helicoids, but it is the only grease I have right now. So I used a tiny amount of it and tried to spread it evenly on the surfaces. I did not put it on the second half because I thought it would be too much. And now it is just a matter of putting everything back together. You see me checking everything again and again, checking those springs, the position, and now it is the time to put back the springs and the locks and screw them back. You can see here why you might actually need a good pair of tweezers. Previously I had tweezers made of aluminum and they are not the ones that you would like to use. Now you take your screws and screw them back, then you take... If you think that something is wrong with the video right now, you are correct, because my phone stopped recording because I'm out of space, and that's great. And now we are ready to see if it works or not. Here I'm just trying to remember the way it turns and the mug fits correctly. Take the camera, put your adapter, then the film back on, and you may not be able to see it, but it feels at least twice as easy to turn as before. So take care of your gear, take care of yourselves, and I don't ask you to subscribe, but if you find this video useful, just leave it a like, so we can spread the knowledge.